Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at Noon.
Parents of a murdered Pulaski County woman watch as the man accused of causing their daughter's death goes before a judge.
Health officials say an Ebola flyer found in this Franklin County neighborhood is bogus.
Really good looking day out there. Bright blue skies, few clouds filter in later on, but that doesn't really mean you're going to see any rain. Toward the weekend, yeah, it gets a little rainy at times, but it looks like that blast of cool air is going to be the story. And I'll show you possible frost in your weekend coming up in just a few minutes. WKYT News and News starts right now.
And we start with a breaking news alert out of Lexington. Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant along with Rebecca Smith, who's in for Barb. The Fayette County coroner is at the scene of a deadly shooting in Lexington. It happened about 11 o'clock this morning at an apartment complex on McCullough Drive in the Winburn neighborhood.
WKYT's Victor Puente is live there right now with all the latest breaking details.
Well, police have taped off an apartment here on McCullough Drive. I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a better look at the scene. Police tell us that shooting happened sometime after 10:30. They say they got a call of shots fired. And when they got here, they found a man lying in the hallway of this apartment. Paramedics tried to help him, but police say he has died, they believe, from a gunshot wound. Now, the coroner is here, along with detectives from Lexington's robbery homicide unit. Right now, police aren't calling this a homicide, simply saying it's a death investigation. They also say they don't know how many people may have been involved in this. They're asking anyone who was in this area and may have seen something after this shooting. They say if they saw someone running away from the scene, that could be a big help. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. A Southern Kentucky man accused of killing his girlfriend and throwing her body into a sinkhole answered to the charges today. Johnny Ray Hendricks is charged with murder in the death of Monica Wells. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is outside the Pulaski County Courthouse now with reaction from the victim's father. And that's our other top story here at noon. Phil?
James and Brenda Helton were in the courtroom this morning. This afternoon, they will be making funeral arrangements for their daughter. But again, this morning, they made a stop at the Pulaski County District Courtroom to take a look at the man accused of murdering their daughter. Johnny Ray Hendricks walked into the district courtroom in shackles and chains. Police say he killed 34-year-old Monica Wells and that their 8-year-old witnessed her being beat up. The Heltons became concerned when Monica did not show up Tuesday afternoon for lunch at her son's school. They became even more concerned when she did not show up to get her son off the school bus. She was found dead with blunt force injuries the next day. Her parents say they want justice for their daughter. They say he was always bad news for her.
We don't want him out on bond. We do not want him no privilege whatsoever. And we want his brother brought in too.
Hendricks pleaded not guilty to the charges this morning in court. A preliminary hearing was set for October the 22nd. No change in his $500,000 bond. Live in Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you. And relatives are telling us that Southern Oaks Funeral Home will be handling the arrangements for Monica Wells.
Well, one lane of southbound I-75 in southern Kentucky is closed at this noon hour for a tractor-trailer fire. These are pictures from the Mount Vernon Fire Department's Facebook page. This is the scene at mile marker 67 in Rockcastle County. The semi was hauling bulk plastic, we're told, which made the fire pretty hard to put out and left behind a big mess. A crew with David's Tire Center, they're working to clear that scene. Well, President Barack Obama is appointing former White House advisor Ron Klain as the Ebola czar to combat the deadly virus.
It comes as U.S. officials are working with Carnival Cruise Lines to bring home a healthcare worker who may have been exposed to Ebola. Craig Boswell is in Bethesda, Maryland with the latest.
The State Department and Carnival Cruise Lines say a worker who may have been exposed to the Ebola virus in Dallas is quarantined aboard the Carnival Magic, shown here in file footage from the company's website. The ship is being held off the coast of Belize in the Caribbean. Officials say the lab worker from Texas Health Presbyterian may have had contact with contaminated specimens from Thomas Duncan, who died at the hospital 9 days ago. Officials say she may have processed his fluid samples 19 days ago. The doctor aboard the ship says the woman and her husband are showing no symptoms of Ebola. Experimental Ebola vaccine trials are underway here at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland. This is where 26-year-old infected nurse Nina Pham was transferred from Dallas last night.
She's very fatigued. This is a virus that really wreaks havoc on you. We fully intend to have this patient walk out of this hospital.
Pham taped a tearful goodbye video with coworkers who cared for her at Texas Health Presbyterian. A nurse who treated Pham tells CBS News the hospital wasn't prepared to deal with the virus.
I saw a chaotic scene. It wasn't organized. It wasn't safe. No one really in charge.
Texas officials have asked the 75 workers who had some level of contact with Duncan to sign a legal document agreeing to stay home and avoid public places until they're cleared of Ebola. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Bethesda, Maryland.
And Secretary of State John Kerry says today that only a third of the $1 billion that the United Nations requested to fight Ebola has been raised. Kerry is asking other countries to pledge more support and money.
Meanwhile, the state's issued a warning after a fake Ebola flyer was circulated in a central Kentucky neighborhood. The Kentucky Cabinet for Health and Human Services says the flyer that was handed out in Frankfort contains inaccurate information on how the disease is spread. WKYT's Whitney Wetzel has continuing team coverage from Franklin County.
So far, only one Ebola flyer has been found in this neighborhood, but local health officials fear misinformation from this bad prank will spread. Officials say this bogus flyer was left outside of a home in the Meadowview area sometime Thursday. It shows a logo from the Centers for Disease Control on it and lists false information about the deadly Ebola virus. Health officials say information like the virus can be transmitted by air, and more than 20 cases have been confirmed in the U.S. are false. One line says CDC officials are allowed to enter any residence to control the spread of the virus. Another line tells people to call 911 if they see a person with signs of Ebola, which it claims are sneezing or vomiting. Health officials stress that all of this information is false. Both state and local health and emergency management officials want people to know that no legitimate Ebola flyers are being passed out at this time.
As a public health agency, what we are trying to do is get out accurate information. We are trying to make sure that our community is not panicked, and having misinformation out there does nothing but stir the pot.
Health officials also encourage people to check out the CDC's website, cdc.gov, for accurate information about Ebola. In Franklin County, Whitney Wetzel, WKYT.
Thanks so much, Whitney. Well, the investigation continues into exactly who printed the bogus flyer. If caught, whoever's responsible could be charged with terroristic threatening.
Well, today is the pick day of the week here in the Bluegrass. Plenty of sunshine, warmer temperatures out there. It's a great day, but don't get really used to it because changes are coming for the rest of the weekend. Let's go to WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris live at our First Alert Weather Center. Mike?
Oh, I think you said it right. I mean, don't get used to it, but take advantage of it. That's kind of the key and the positive you can take out of this. It's beautiful outside, and it feels good too. Temperatures are there in the mid-60s, and it looks like we're holding on to a really good looking day in store. So it already feels good. You got about 45 minutes, about 50 minutes until Keeneland's gates open. Today is your day to do that. It looks good, feels good. I don't see any issues whatsoever out at Keeneland today. You're seeing 70 degrees by the afternoon. Let's just put it awesome. That's the best way we can put it. Going in toward the nighttime, you got a big football game going on there for high school football. 64 there, roughly at kickoff. And then we'll drop to around 60 degrees by the second half. Either way, you're dry. Toward the weekend, we do have a little rain and frost to talk about. I'll show you that forecast coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Micah. We have a major traffic alert to pass along for you this midday. A stretch of I-75 in Madison County will be shut down this weekend. The right northbound and southbound lanes will be closed at exit 95 so that crews can work on the exit ramps. The closures start tonight at 7 and are scheduled to last through Sunday night. Drivers headed north can take a detour at exit 90. Southbound drivers can take exit 97. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. WKYT once again teaming up with St. Elizabeth Healthcare to provide breast screenings. The St. Elizabeth Healthcare mobile mammography van will be at WKYT on Tuesday from 9:30 till 6:30 p.m. You can make an appointment by calling the number on the screen. Financial assistance is available to the uninsured thanks to a generous grant from Susan G. Komen, Lexington.
Well, all week long, it has been one of the most viewed and most commented on stories on WKYT.com. It's the madness over how to watch the entire Big Blue Madness this year. With Kentucky and the SEC selling the broadcast rights to SEC Sports to ESPN, this year's Big Blue Madness won't be on WKYT or local TV anywhere from start to finish. Now, let's explain. You will be able to watch parts of Madness on sports channel ESPNU. University of Kentucky will be one of 6 programs this evening featured during ESPNU Midnight Madness. Plus, the SEC Network's SEC Now program at 9 will also show portions, but not all, of Kentucky's Big Blue Madness. For both of those, you need cable or satellite service that offers those 2 channels. So what if you want to watch Madness from beginning to end? Well, the only way to do that is to watch it online on ESPN3. That is an online-only channel. To view ESPN3 online, you must still be a cable or satellite customer who receives ESPN as part of your regular television package. You will need your account information to log into the ESPN3 channel. Yes, it is complicated. Many of you have left comments upset about Madness not being available this year to regular local television. For more information, you can go to WKYT.com, where we have a full Q&A on how to watch Madness this year. Of course, we'll have a full report and highlights for you here on WKYT News at 11. A former Olympian, Oscar Pistorius, is expected to learn his fate next week in the death of his girlfriend.
Find out what sentence the prosecution and defense are recommending next on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
And also ahead, if your dreams of marrying Kentucky native George Clooney have been crushed, you can at least look like his blushing bride. We'll explain coming up on WKYT News at noon.